What's up YouTube, Stanley Merklin here, I lift therefore I am, and today I want to talk about beginner basics. Now this is going to be a new series that I'm going to start outlining some tips and helping people avoid a lot of the mistakes that I made and that I see a lot of people around me making when you are a beginner. Now before I get into this video, I want to clarify something, and that is, what is a beginner? Now I know some people may disagree with me, but in my personal opinion, I do not believe that being a beginner has anything to do with your experience. Now, what I mean by this is that what classifies someone as a beginner, in my opinion, is how much you lift. Now, some people may be saying, oh, well, I only care about aesthetics, or I only care about, I don't know, my sport. Well, think about it this way. If you only care about aesthetics, who do you think is going to be larger and have more likely have a better physique? Someone who's doing 3 sets of 10 with 225 on the bench, or someone who's doing 3 sets of 10 with 135 on the bench?
Don't worry, I'll wait.
Exactly. So it has nothing to do with the amount of time you've been lifting, because quite frankly, if you've been lifting for 30 years and you're still benching 135 pounds, then you're still a novice. And this isn't me talking down to people or trying to be an asshole, but it's just the reality. And this is, I will admit, contingent upon your genetics and things like that. So not everyone will have the same amounts of progression at the same rate. Okay, so now on to linear progression. So what is linear progression? Simply put, linear progression is adding weight to exercises every time you lift. So when you are a complete novice, you can add weight typically every time you go in the gym. And then as you get a little bit more advanced, it's at a weekly basis. This is really a simple concept, so this isn't going to be a long video, but it's really important, and people really seem to not either understand this or they just don't do it, and I don't understand why. Linear progression is the fastest way to make the most amount of gains, and you will make the most amount of gains than any other time in your lifting career using linear progression. So the law of what's called diminishing returns can pretty much be applied to physiology. So this means that when you're a beginner, you have a much faster rate of adaptation than someone who's more advanced. So if you can adapt faster, you can get stronger faster, you can get bigger faster, you're just gonna make overall better progress. However, as you progress, your gains are gonna come slower and you're gonna have to do more work to make less amount of gains than you did when you were a beginner. Therefore, it would make sense, in my opinion, that you pretty much milk linear progression as long as you can. Now this is obviously going to be different for different people. Some people may only be able to linear progress for a few months, some people may be able to do it for years. And I'll use myself for an example. I've been linearly progressing on my squat on a weekly basis for almost the past 2 years. And obviously there were some bumps in the roads. I took small breaks from training. I got injured. Well, I didn't get injured, but I got sick and things like that. So in a little less than 2 years, I've added over almost 150 pounds to my squat. So that shows you how important and how effective linear progression is. Nothing is gonna get you results faster than linear progression. So what is the whole point of this video? And I've pretty much been saying the same thing over and over again, but I'm gonna say it one more time because nobody seems to get it. Max out your linear progression, make the most amount of gains you can. When you get to a point when you stall for 2 or 3 weeks and you can't add any more weight, then you can think about periodizing your program or going on to a more intermediate or advanced program. But until then, if you still can add weight every workout or every week out, there's no reason to start something like non-linear periodization or daily undulating periodization. Things like that, they are effective and they are important. But if you're a beginner, then there's no reason to be doing these things and you're really just shooting yourself in the foot. So to sum up this video, once again, make as much linear progression as you can. Keep adding weight to the bar as long as you can. And I promise you, your gains will come much faster and you will not regret it. So that's the video, guys. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.